Welcome to the Numinous Factor, the home of spiritual and metaphysical exploration through the guiding lights of Ronnie Mae James, medium, and Claudia Ruland, astrologer. Debate and discussion, observation and openness, stimulation and sensitivity to all matters pertaining to our soul. The Numinous Factor.
Welcome everyone to episode 6 of the Numinous Factor. We've been on a little break, but we're back in the year of manifestations and new beginnings, 2019, with a new format and plenty of new and interesting topics to inspire our spiritual chats with you. I hope everyone has had a lovely holiday break and enjoyed some time with family and friends during the New Year's celebrations.
And Happy New Year to everybody out there who's
to
listening
you.
to us. It would be good really for us to kind of focus on what this year is going to bring, and I'm going to ask Claudia to bring in her expertise to say in a very generalised way what the year of the pig and 2019 bring for everyone, which is much better than 2018.
I do love little piggies.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, no, it sounds awesome. So we're going to have to do a little bit of research into the year of the pig as well, and just let people know what that's going to bring, depending on what star sign you are. Which is that we know it's all very relative. So, so today's episode is part 2 of our spiritual connection episodes that we were doing, and this one is in relation to mind and body. So what does mind and body mean to you, Ronnie?
Well, just to start with, I think really for mind, when you think about a new year, everybody starts to bring in some form of New Year resolution. So they maybe just bring in, they're going to go to the gym, or they're going to eat less, or drink less, or eat the right foods. And all of those things are really good. They're not that sustainable if you're anything like me. I'll start off well, a bit like a sprinter, but probably I'll probably come in last. But what I was going to say about that, I think that it's really important, and we do focus at the beginning of the year about what our intentions are going to be. And for many people who have started their path of sort of spiritual awareness and a connection with the intuition and the psyche, that's probably a really good idea to start with something like a vision board.
Yes, and vision boards are awesome.
Yeah, I did mine last year.
Yeah. What did you have on it?
Oh, that was funny. It was good actually. I was sort of advised to keep it in an area that I was likely to see it every day, and that's the main thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you put a vision board together, if you haven't already done one, I'll just briefly explain what it is, and then I'll tell you where I put mine, and then Claudia can tell you what she did with hers.
Where I put mine.
Yeah. So really, when you get time, and I'd love to do a video on it with Claudia to show you how to actually put this vision board together, is that you outline your intention and what is it that you want to achieve that year. And let's not just think about the monetary value. We often put that first, but health and family and enjoying life is probably the most important thing that we can ask for, because it has that ripple effect.
Yeah.
When we're happy as a family, when we know that we're making good connections with people and relationships, that's when lots of other things fall into place, and our spiritual awareness grows. So after you've set your goals and what you want to achieve, so for me, I wanted to be better connected with my family. I wanted to improve my health.
Yeah.
I knew that there was a change in career coming.
Yeah.
And I sort of decided in what area I felt spiritually that I would be better following that intuition. So for me, I'd gone from teaching into counselling and psychotherapy.
Yeah.
So I did an A3 sheet, which was a card, and all I basically did was I wrote my goals down, and I had at least 10. It's not you don't need to rush it.
That's ambitious.
Yeah, you don't need to rush it. Just put whatever you feel is right down. Go with your gut and your intuition. What is it that you want to develop this year? Who do you want to develop better relationships with? Or do you need to focus more on your health? Do you need to focus more on developing parts of your personality? Or we could go on forever. But anyway, next stage is to basically collect or have collected a number of magazines. And then what I do, and I know some people struggle at it, because if you're not sort of visually clever at putting things together, people struggle with this bit. So what I do is I set the goals, I have it in mind, and then I go through heaps of magazines and I cut anything and everything out that makes me feel good. So it could be a sentence, it could be a word, it could be an image of something, a photograph, it could be something that links to a poem, a song, but it all resonates with me.
The pictures just jump out at you, don't you? You think, that's perfect, that's exactly what I see in my head.
Yeah. And it might be, like on mine it says happy family. But it was part of a sentence, but I just cut out happy family. And then there were other images of groups of little children together, some from the Fijian islands. And so that was like happiness with children, family, and maybe a bit of travel. So I cut things like that out. And then you just basically paste them onto the board. And that you can do them in any order. You can, as long as you create enough space for them to be seen, and it's important for you. Did you kind of find that bit easy?
Well, when I did mine, I think first of all, personally with me, I meditated a little bit to sort of work out what exactly it was I wanted, because a lot of people think they know what they want, but they don't really. So I think if you just quiet your mind and just think about, okay, it's a new year, let's start thinking about what's not working in my life and what do I want to bring into my life.
That's a really good start,
so just really quiet in your mind and think about it a little bit first. And then for me, I've been single for some time, so I think it would be nice to meet someone. What does he look like? You don't
have to whisper when you say that.
Yeah, I know. But I would think about, okay, what does he look like? I need to get a little bit of an idea. Someone that's relative to my age, someone who likes the same things I like. But I'm quite open to new experiences. So I think you have to just put it out there, but then just let whatever comes. Let the universe do the work for you. So,
do you write a list? Because I know when I did some listening into Deepak Chopra, he said, be specific, write a list.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I said meditating was really important, because sometimes when you meditate, all of a sudden other things might pop in your head that you didn't think of. If you just start with the question, what do I want? What do I need?
If you don't want somebody who's going to burp after their meals, pick their nose in public.
That's what, like you?
Oh, don't give away my traits.
That woman again.
But you're right. Yeah.
So writing a list is a brilliant idea, because then when you start to list, then I would prioritize. Because I know everybody does their vision boards differently, but the way I personally would do mine, the most important thing would be in the center. Because that's where my vision's going to go first. And that's the most important thing that I want this year. So have whatever that image is, however you want to interpret it, that goes in the center. And then everything kind of branches off, depending on their priority. Obviously, the things that aren't as important will start to branch out towards the outer edge of the vision board, but the most important to me is in the center. Other people do it differently. Like one of my daughters, when she did her vision board, she did a linking process. So she started in the top left of where she wanted to start, and then she kind of thought, okay, that's going to lead to this, and then that's going to lead to this, and pretty much she manifested the whole thing. By linking it. It had to start here, and then once that happens, then this will happen. Then once that happens, this will happen, and so forth. And it linked. And it was brilliant. I just thought that's a great way to do it. So it's whatever works for you.
And I think that's an important message for anybody that's listening to the podcast, that there's no set way of doing it. Whatever you feel comfortable with. And obviously the visual effect really makes you think and feel about what it is that you want. And obviously writing that list, doing the meditation beforehand is really essential for that focus. And then going back to what we were saying earlier, don't put it somewhere where you're not going to see it every day.
No, because that doesn't make any sense.
Or don't put it where the neighbours can see it. Or And obviously, if there's very private things in there, you've got to put it somewhere where only your family are going to see it, or maybe just you.
Just you.
So what I did, I've got a very big mirror in the bathroom, and of course, as ladies do, they like to put the makeup on in the morning and do your hair, and you just look at yourself in the morning anyway, whether you look good or bad. You know. I should have a scoreboard, really. It says,
Just you look at it, this needs improvement.
Yeah, not so good this morning. But I put it right next to that, and it's behind the door.
Yeah.
So only I know that it's behind the door, and my family. But anybody else that was to use that bathroom, unless the door's closed, you're not really going to see it.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
quite happy with it like that. So
And you're seeing it first thing in the morning as well. So it's probably the most prominent thought once you see it, and then you think, right, keep this in my mind for the rest of the day.
Yeah. And, you know, it's really important to keep those goals in mind, because you need to focus on it every day. You need to remind yourself. You need to thank the universe. You know, thank you for that university course, or thank you for the inspiration for something, or thank you for being able to spend time with your family. Thank you for your health. There is that gratitude that you see every day when you go back to visit your vision board.
Thank you for the special people that are in your life, like you.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh.
I owe her $50 now.
Shh. We had a bargain.
But you know, I just think, it's for me personally, it's always a real time for focus.
Yep.
And you know, it doesn't matter what your spiritual beliefs are, your religion or your culture.
No.
It makes, you know, there's no harm in focusing on what it is that you want to do this year, and incorporating whatever spiritual beliefs you have to back that up.
It's funny too, because one of my resolutions, I guess, last year, or my vision direction in 2018, when we first came into the new year, was one of the things that I recognized about myself was not standing up for myself enough.
Yeah.
So I think once you make that decision and think, right, this year I'm going to own that, and I'm going to, whenever, you know, situations are presented to me, I'm just going to find the courage to stand up for myself, because no one else is going to do it. And it's funny how once you sort of make that a prominent thought in your mind, how the universe says, okay, and they start presenting you with situations where you have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Let's see how you go. So it started out with like little altercations in the supermarket, and I thought, you know, that the old me would have just backed away and just thought, oh, I'll just go down another aisle. But then the new me said, no, I'm going to say something. And it's funny how when you start, when you go up that step, and I mean, you choose your words, you choose your battles. And this particular situation, this woman was being incredibly rude and abrasive and pushy and really loud, like embarrassing me. And I thought, nah, turned around, had a go with her. Said, don't you dare speak to me like that. You know, I offered you, you know, this position in the queue. You decided you didn't want it. Now you want it. You know, make up your mind. And I raised my voice and I matched hers. Well, guess what? She backed off. She went, oh, I'm off now.
It's amazing how many people stand back, because nobody
It felt
wants...
great. It felt great, because I thought it's so not me to be that person. But I thought, you know what? Step out of your skin and be someone new. Be someone that you want to be.
Yeah,
or someone that you admire.
It's good. Don't let people push you around. So be careful when you go shopping. Look out for Claudia, because you happen to
Don't get in my way.
Stand in front of her.
That's it.
But that leads us nicely, really, into how our thoughts and feelings and our emotions affect our attitudes, and obviously the positivity in our bodies. And often, you know, it's like you can have a positive effect or a negative effect.
Yeah.
And that really is controlled by your mind.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the next bit, you know, about the body later on in the session. But it is really important to keep that positive attitude, you know, connecting with your goals, connecting with yourself and your values.
Yeah.
That, you know, you are worth something. You're not going to be bullied or pushed around by other people. Yeah. And I was always taught as a small child, as long as whatever you do is it with positive intent.
Yes.
Like, you know, say for example the lady that shoved you around in the queue or whatever it was. That, you know, you're not going out of your way to be unpleasant to people. So what's in your heart is a good intention, but it is really to protect yourself from